Feel like a fugitive, always on the run. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bullets Gotti. So, this video is to address Hassan, Hassan, Dylon, Steve Campbell. What's on, bro? What is your issue? What is your problem? Why do you keep trying to go and bait 50? You trying to go at Preem. You trying to go at Prince. Like, dog, you don't get the memo? Stay out of Queen's business. You don't get the memo that, dog, you pressing your luck? Like, we don't believe you with the street stories. I keep trying to say this, bro. You're an extortion victim, okay? You're being extorted, right? By Mac and many other dudes. You have a real street certified dude from the Bronx that's verifying and saying that you certified. Now, don't get me wrong. Minnesota gave you your credit. Cool, that's my guy. You know I rock with Minnie. But we ain't hear nobody else verified your stories. What I did hear was David Mullins wanted to knock your head off, and you really don't understand that you was gonna get hurt out here. For real, for real. And if it wasn't for Damon that saved your life, you would have lost your life, right? So we understand, Hassan, you live not too far from the precinct, okay? You have went to the precinct on dudes on live, bruh. Like, we still want to know what happened to your gun case. You know, you got caught with the hammer. It was supposed to be on your property. All those cops came, and then you got arrested, you said, and we didn't hear nothing else about your gun case, right? We want to know about you cocking hammers in Bronx River, and it's on video, and the police ain't come question or come at you. We don't believe your street stories because we know you working, Hassan. We know you a snitch. And a lot of dudes, and what you did was you snitched live on YouTube. So if anything happens to you in the streets, you pointing fingers at a bunch of people. 50 Cent Goons. That's your title of the video. 50 Cent Goons. They're threatening me with guns, and you dry snitching on Moose, who's incarcerated right now. Saying, oh yeah, Moose shot Uncle Murder. You dry snitching on Moose. Okay? You solving crimes, and you putting dudes like in line of fire, bro. Like, you just threw Z Black out there. Now, homie, what you just did was, now, if them niggas don't feel like they want to step to you because you live not too far from the precinct and we know you hiding, you don't be outside, okay? You be putting your coats on in the house. Like, it's a damn shame, son. How you putting on your coats in the house and ain't going nowhere? Dog, you getting fresh in the crib for what? Who gets fresh in the crib? Who throws on a shearling and a mink coat in the house and wear a fitted hat in the house and showing your backyard? Hey, that's a nigga that ain't used to nothing, bro. But push past the bumper clock. You doing all of this, right? And you getting yourself involved in situations you shouldn't be getting yourself involved in, right? You talking about Preem. You don't know Preem. You ain't never been around Preem. And the people in your circle was telling you the right thing. that you should have not did that. You should listen to the people in your circle because they know the type of caliber of gangster Preem and Prince is. So, and they don't even move like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because they on positive timing. But the reputation and the people that love them don't mind crashing out on a dumb nigga like you. Because you an ignorant nigga, Hassan. And you not that bright. Because if you was bright and you with no Prince, with no 50, you wouldn't want to start with these people. You would want to, mind your business and get to your bag. But see, you just an incompetent nag. You don't understand that. Because you wanna make it seem like you got this ill gangster reputation in the hood. And the funny part is you don't have that gangster reputation. Once we heard the stories of Bam jizzing on your thighs, once we heard the story of you having sexual encounters with Bam Bada, all that gangster stuff was off the table. It's one thing if, you wasn't who you say you was, and we would have believed that, you know what? Yo, Hassan he's a gangster, bro. He really do what he say he do, right? But once we heard the story about Bam and him jizzing on your thighs, nigga, we couldn't listen anymore what you talking about, dogs. You got the people fooled, and we know you got the people fooled because the people that watches you, 9 out of 10, is nondescript niggas, in which I mean by nondescript, dun-dun-dun niggas. Because if people believe that you official, like you say you is, then where the dudes going in they black suits and hard bottoms and mama crying over, crutched up over the casket, screaming bastard. Where is that at? Because Hassan, when we look at you, when we look at what you about, we see you got a sister that's a pastor of a mega church that you haven't put on your platform yet. Because she's going to refute everything you saying. Because I believe that your sister and your father will expose the true you. So you don't want to put your loved ones on a platform with you. You don't want to put your pops up there. Because I sat there and I watched the interview. I wanted to really see the diagnosis of Hassan Campbell because I have to mentally analyze a dude like you. I mentally analyze all my subjects. And you were a dude that I had to mentally analyze and watch and really see, is he who he say he is? And so when I saw, because I've heard that your sister was the pastor, but when I watched the platform, and she has a very good platform, your sister's a very knowledgeable woman, and she has a very great platform when it comes to, her speaking her truth. And when I watch the platform and I see that you, Hassan, is not on the channel, I don't understand that. That was like, wait a minute, hold on. Hassan is not on his sister's YouTube channel? His father's not on his YouTube channel? So he want the world to believe that he came from a fatherless household with no father, and he wanted it to make it seem like all these bad negative things. And then when I listened to the interview, your father talked about how he worked. Yeah, he struggled with his addictions, but he was working. He was a working man. He wasn't a street man. He was a working man. You know what I mean? A hard-working man, a hard-working black brother that, that came from, a family. And the way you made it seem like your family was ain't shit people. But here's the thing. Hassan, you've been lying about a lot of things, Hassan. Like, You've been lying about, you know, 10 toes and your relationship with him. You know what I'm saying? Because people really believe that you and 10 toes got beef, but y'all don't really got beef, Hassan. Y'all never had beef. See, you made the people believe that y'all had beef because, like I said, Hassan, you are a liar and you are a fraud. So anything that comes out your mouth and anything that you pushing, you know, it's crazy. And the part of this, right? Is that I sat there and I listened to this dude for years and years and years. Made his story sound like he was this victim. And then when you really see who this dude really is that he's a fraud. A fraud. And he's the most interesting fraud I ever seen, because he'll make y'all believe that he's this victim, ladies and gentlemen. He'll make y'all believe that he's this person that's been abused and mistreated and all this nonsense that he be pushing. Pumping bad dope, y'all. Pumping bad dope. But when you really look at his platform, he's not a gangster. Okay? He went to jail for an assault, not no homicide. But he keep telling you, I went to jail for bodies. Nigga, you went to jail one time. You didn't go to jail multiple times. In the New York State database, they only have you one time up there. They don't have you up there multiple times for nothing. So when you keep saying, I've been locked up multiple times for bodies, I'm trying to figure out where's the bodies and what multiple times you've been locked up. Because as we could look, when we look your name up and we look who you are, we don't see these multiple times for bodies. We see you've been arrested in 96. You came home in 97. Or you got arrested in 95, 96, around that time, right? And you came home in 97. That right there just shows that you're a liar. That right there just shows you're a liar. Because you made it seem like, yo, I was locked up all these years and I finally got my freedom. And then when you look them up and you see that that's not true, that it never was the case. Just like he tells y'all about these Bam stories. Bam never lived. He kept saying, well, yo, Bam used to see Bam in Bronx River. He lied. Bam didn't live in Bronx River when Hassan was a teenager. Oh, I wouldn't say a teenager. He didn't live in Bronx River when he was a teenager. And he damn sure didn't live when he was a preteen. Bam left Bronx River and went to Unionport Road. But he's not going to tell the audience that story. Just like he lied and said, oh, Tafik and them tried to kill me. Nobody tried to kill you, Hassan. You're a liar. Just like you lied on our God and you said what you said about Sugar Ray. When these men stood up and was holding you down and defending you, you went on your platform and straight up lied and teared that man down that you said was your brother. Because you was in your feelings. Like a scorned baby mama. You say, yo, I'm going to Heaven Up in Harlem, right? He's supposed to have pull up to Heaven Up in Harlem, right? He never showed up to Heaven Up in Harlem. because he's a scary individual. But his comrades, that he says his comrades was out there. See, Hassan can play the monster dude. He's a paranoid, scared little man. You know? He ain't who he say he is. Because if he was who he say he was, dudes wouldn't play with him the way they play with him. They play with him the way they play with him because they know he's a punk. They know he a pussy. And they know he's soft. They know he's soft. So they play with him like they know what he is. When you get up on a platform and say that Bam did this to you, and you ain't had no retaliation, you ain't put hands on him, you ain't buck him, you went on the internet, you had a little drunk-induced rant, and then from your drunk-induced rant, you cleaned up your act, and you apologized, you took the video down, and then you saw Bam face-to-face and hugged it out with him. But because you so thirsty for money and fame and clout, that you did what most clout chasers and lames do. You took the offer that the chick gave you, the one that promised you the book deal and documentary and all that. You took the offer and you went out like we knew you was going to go out. And then when it didn't, you wasn't making no money and people was going at you, you said, I got to go and do something else. So what you did was you picked a new lane. Let me start talking about rappers. Let me start dissing the industry dudes. So when I get their attention, I get on the phone with them and I act like the groupie that I am and I apologize. That's all you want. You want a phone conversation with these niggas. You don't want to get active. You ain't really about none of that. You an attention-seeking hoe. You know? Like Wax said, man. You was telling your audience, oh, I don't mess with Wack. Wack did this to my channel. No, you mess with Wack. Wack said he talked to you on a regular. But you lied to your audience and said you don't mess with Wack. Just like you lied to your audience and said you don't mess with 10 Toes, but you do mess with 10 Toes. You do mess with Sarnetta. You was messing with Sarnetta. When you was fake beefing with Sarnetta, you was cool with Sarnetta. You was cool with 10 Toes. In fact, when you did the live stream, the last live stream me and you did, you sent the link to Sarnetta's phone to come on there with me, you, and Young Pharaoh. Yeah. Yeah. Because, Hassan, you are a fraud. And you're going to always be a fraud. I don't care about who likes you and who, no, nigga. We going to make sure that the people know that you ain't who you say you is. Because you ain't who you say you is. And that's why I'm doing the documentary in Bronx River. Because I think with Bam in the documentary and Pow Wow, Mr. Biggs and Tafik and all these brothers in the documentary, you know, all the brothers, that they will expose your character, who you was. You was a flunky. You was a crash out. B.O. wasn't your big homie. You never got no money with B.O. You was the dude. You was the little... Let's keep it real. You was the little slow dude that was born with... Let's keep it real. Your sister wasn't born like you was. You was a... How could I say this? a alcohol-induced born baby, right? You very slow, and we know you slow, and we know you're delusional, Hassan. And your family don't fuck with you because of the antics that you do. This is why when I watch your sister's podcast, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, yo, why is he not on his sister's podcast? Like, his sister got a whole podcast, and she's not putting her little brother on the podcast? His father's up here. I've never seen Hassan once interview his pops. Why haven't you interviewed your pops, Hassan? Would you ashamed to let the world see that the stories that you've been saying about your pops and your moms is not true? That your sister don't have them same type of stories that you having? That your sister is not getting up on her platform saying the nonsense, the crazy nonsense that you're saying? Because when you watch the podcast with your sister and you watch a podcast with your father, it's totally different from your little YouTube rants and your BS stories. It's like, it's a whole different, it looked like a whole different universe. And I'm like, damn, dog, it's like, homie really was up here capping, and he got people believing that his life was hard. That he was this drug, this dude that was in the, what do you like to say, in the streets, and he was having dudes on curfew. Like, you wasn't having nobody on curfew. Okay? When I look at those pictures of dudes in Bronx River, the real Bronx River G's, you wasn't in that conversation. You ain't Iron Mike, right? You like to say, oh, Jerry, your big bro. You ain't Jerry. You know? You ain't Junior. You ain't Xavier. You ain't Xavier Williams. You ain't Father Tom. You ain't DC. I can name a couple names out of your projects. Half Pint, who you stole his story, just like you stole Beat Stinger's story. You know? You ain't a Chris Lighty. You know, you just not these dudes, man. These was the dudes in the 80s and 90s that was running your projects. You know, Sugar Ray. You know, these was the dudes that was known in your projects that was handling they handle. And then when it comes to the Bronx, you ain't in the caliber of a OG Mac. You ain't in the caliber of a Los, a Billy Guy, you know, a Cheese, a Kev, a C-Town, a Pistol Pete, a Wolf, you know, a Little Wolf, Showbiz, Inf, B.O., Mac, Billy Bang from Patterson, Tone, Gator. Like, you not in that gangster caliber of those dudes that I just named. A Chicky, a Boy George, a Charlie Rock LD. Like, these is people like Percy. These is people that are certified stamp Bronx dudes. And when it come to your name, you ain't in the conversation. And I'm just saying, like, when we hear Hassan Campbell, we don't hear, oh, that's the street dude, Poppy. Yeah, he let his gun go. Nah, we don't hear that. What we hear is, that's Bambatta's Bimbo. What we hear is, that's a dude that got effed by Africa Bambaataa. That's the dude that got shot outside his projects. Fake shot inside his project. Whatever. I think it's a fake thing. I don't believe it was real. But you did that for clout, you know? And this is the type of antics that we know you for. Like, you in love with a whole man, Five God. Like, that's your boo. That's your boo thing. Like, you was in a relationship with Five God. Like, any man that said he booked a hotel with you, and then y'all taking pictures the way y'all took pictures, it just shows that that's your lover. That's your boo thing. You know what I'm saying? You taking them coat shopping and all that. Like, that's your boo thing. We know what it is, Hassan. And we know that you are I don't know if you bisexual, trisexual. I don't know what y'all call it. But you are a man that's in the closet that don't want to come out the closet. And you want to always make yourself seem like you tough. Yeah, I was locked up. Like even when you went at Kwame, first thing you said, I was, you was in the NBA. I was locked up with Papa Jock, Wild Bill, Lucky Dawn. Like, dog, we don't believe you, dogs. You talking about you was locked up with all these people. We don't believe you. We don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a dude can be locked up with somebody. That don't mean that they're a gangster. There's a lot of crash outs and there's a lot of funkies in jail. You know? And you just one of those dudes that try to pose like you are that dude. And you really not that dude. You know, you a dude that's really suffers from delusions of grandeur. And not only that you suffer from delusion of grandeur, but you suffer from a complex. Not only a God complex, but you suffer from a complex of not living in your truth. You have an identity crisis. Everything to you is rap songs and movies. We could tell that you don't live in reality. You know what I'm saying? You a dude that's a father that got kids and a grandfather, like you say. You a grandfather and a father. So you a grandfather and a father, and you are online pumping your chest, talking all this gangster talk, and you ain't really caring about your kids. You talk about you ain't doing this, dog. You a whole liar. You an alcoholic. You know, you get up online. You know, your brain is done, dog. It's done. It's over with, bro. Like, you mentally is delayed. You mentally deranged. You schizophrenic. It's a whole lot of things with you, bro. And the problem with you is that you can't get out of that whole delusions. Like, you out here screaming 50, talking about, yo, 50. Like, listen, bro. You don't want them problems with 50. 50's a real, like, 50 is a real dude. And he got a lot of dudes that love him. Just like Preem got a lot of dudes that love him, Prince got a lot of dudes that love him. I think you really didn't see the picture of Prince out there in South Jamaica where he was giving out coats and turkeys and everything. And how much dudes came out and they took pictures with him and how he had the whole projects out there and supporting. We talking about like unified Southside shit, right? Unity type Southside Jamaica thing, right? And what you did, Hassan Campbell, was unify South Jamaica. What you did, Hassan Campbell, was put them boys and queens on your top. Because all you did was talk greasy about dudes that put on for South Jamaica queens. You ain't put on for your hood. You ain't do what Prince or 50 did. 50, when he first got on, he brought all the little homies, all the little shorties in South Jamaica, dirt bikes, you know what I'm saying? Back to school stuff. Like, he really went out there. He got the G unity, all that. So he did something for his hood, right? Preem and Prince, all the basketball tournaments they did in their hood. You know, dudes in Jamaica, Queens still love Preem for the stuff that he did in his hood. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff that Preem did in the 80s, 90s, and even in the 2000s, right? You talking to dudes that really is bosses, bro. You ain't on that level. You ain't never once went back to Bronx River and put a program in your hood or sponsor a basketball tournament in your hood. You ain't did none of that. You ain't get a shorty's bikes and get a shorty's coats and all that. You ain't do what Prince did. Prince ain't been on the street. He ain't been on the street since 1990. And he came home and did some impactful, powerful things in his community. Something that we ain't seen Hassan Campbell do. All we seen you do is do this. Do this. That's all we seen you do since you been on the tube is do this. A whole lot of this. But you ain't doing no action. You ain't going in your hood. You ain't touching the people. You talking about, yeah, yo, the Dawn, they shot Dawn. I got shot. I had them niggas under curfew. Man, shut up, bro. We don't want to hear that. You ain't got no non-profit programs in your community. You ain't got no type of, you not trying to build up your community, put a community center there. You not trying to do nothing to help the youth in your community. But you talking about you helping the community. You ain't helping nothing. All you doing is just talking. All you doing is being a delusional, disgruntled individual that has a fake street, just a fake street ego, because you're not really street. Because we already seen how street you not. When you was beefing with these YouTube dudes, you let these YouTube dudes play with you. You was on a date with Derek, bro. And you exposed yourself because you was so sloppy drunk that you put you and Derek on blast because you was on a date. You wanted to take him to the hotel and have sex with him like you and Bam used to do, right? You ain't do that with Five Guard because you and Five Guard had an intimate relationship. However your intimate relationship was, y'all had an intimate relationship. Because y'all used to go everywhere together. Am I right, Hassan? Right? Taking them coat shopping like a female? Come on, bruh. And then you got the nerve to talk all this, oh, I'm a gangster. I ain't going through the door. Like, shut up, bro. You been through the door. You an industry plant. Let's get that clear. You're an industry plant talking about the door. Dog, you on a whole rap album cover. You on the Midnight Marauders album cover. We don't want to hear no more about no industry plant business when you on a rap cover from 1993, the most legendary rap cover in hip-hop history, Midnight Marauders. You on that cover, Hassan. You on that cover with the who's who of the hip-hop industry, the legends of the culture. We talking about you up there with Puff, you up there with Kid Capri, Funk Flex, Jermaine Dupri, Chris Lighty, Chi Ali. You up there with all of them, right? Then we'll talk about, oh, I was underage when I covered. Shut up, nigga. You and Chi Ali is the same age, bro. Stop it with that. You was underage. You wanted to be in the music industry. You wanted to be a rapper, but it didn't work out for you. So because it didn't work out for you, you have been bitter ever since. You've been bitter ever since. And you mad. And you mad that your career hasn't went where it needed to go. So you came on here looking for street cred and validation. But we know you're a fraud. We know that you're not who you say you are. We know that you are not this gangster in your projects. Ain't no gangster is getting violated like how you getting violated. Your hood don't mess with you. Every time you go over there, they throwing bottles at you. So you not respected, dog. We don't want to hear nothing about, oh, you bust. Bust what? What gun you bust? If you bust your gun so much, you wouldn't be talking about security and this and that. Like I said, Hassan, You a scary man, bro. You know what I'm saying? You a scary man. I had you, and the thing is, like, people be like, yo, Gotti, why you keep going? Like, dude been talking about me behind the scenes. Dude been trying to get me off of my podcast. You know what I'm saying? Doing all type of sucker antics behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But we know he was a hater because one thing about Hassan, he shows you he's a hater. You know what I'm saying? He don't show you that he a real one. He's a hater. So, it is what it is, man. It's your boy Bullets Gotti. Y'all already know what it is, man. Salute.